5 humane ways of dealing with slugs and snails. Us gardeners are generally a peaceable lot, but when we're looking for products or we're looking for ways of dealing with slugs and snails, it always seems to come down to poisoning, trapping, drowning, getting mindlessly drunk and then drowning. They're poor little things. And I'm quite a pacifist. I just don't like killing things. And over the years, I've evolved a way of not poisoning and not killing slugs. In any case, not killing slugs and snails is in keeping with the organic ethos, because you're trying to work with nature. Slugs and snails, they do have a purpose in ecosystems. It may be difficult to fathom what that purpose is, but if you got rid of them entirely, you might suddenly find you got some other problem that you didn't know the slugs and snails were helping with. For instance, I only found out the other day, but it's quite true. There's only a small number of slug and snail species that actually eat our plants. Most of them just wander around the garden chewing on bits of compost quite harmlessly and wouldn't think of eating our vegetables. So the idea that they've all got to go, to me feels out of step with the organic idea anyway. So I try to make my garden, or certainly the parts of it that I'm growing my food in, less hospitable in the hope that the snails go elsewhere. In the case of said allotments like this, next door's allotment, that would do me. Anyway, we'll have a wander around and I'll try and explain what I think are 5 good ways of humanely discouraging slugs and snails. First way, and it's very pertinent, it's April, it's springtime, it's the time when the slugs and the snails are starting to wake up and look around for things to eat. It's also the time when everything's growing. So first tip is cut your grass. It may sound obvious and you may think, oh, I'm too busy to cut the grass up the allotment, it'll look after itself. But it provides, first of all, shelter from birds and that might be flying by. Slugs can hide under long grass. And secondly, it provides a moist environment. And slugs do always look for somewhere that's damp. So if you keep your grass cut, you've got your first line of defence against slug invasion. On the subject of what kit to use, I definitely recommend getting one of these. It's a decent nylon bladed strimmer. You can cut your grass with it, and I do up here actually. I don't have a lawnmower up here, so I use this for actual grass cutting. But you can get into all the edges and the crevices and the crannies and places where otherwise grass would grow and provide an environment for slugs. And something else you can do with a strimmer, you can really get the edges of any beds looking like a razor. Again, the boundary between soil and grass path, if you've got grass around it, is a place for slugs to hide out. Well, again, you can just knock them off pretty quick and again, just create a little hostile environment that slugs won't want to cross. The final thing to do when you've cut your grass, of course, is rake up your grass scrapings because, again, that's an instant environment for slugs. Tip number 2, tidy up. It may sound obvious, but slugs like to hide, and particularly to overwinter, under piles of stones, piles of wood, old bricks, in large areas of overgrowth. And if you remove all these, you're getting rid of a lot of slug accommodation. They certainly won't overnight in open ground. So if you remove all the junk It's a chance to tidy up. If you remove all the junk from your allotment, and I'm not saying I'm the tidiest person on the planet, but certainly at this time of year, in the springtime, I try and get rid of everything that's not needed, everything that's lying around, that would form a damp space underneath. This also applies, by the way, to the. I've got some black weed prevention membrane on my beds back there. They'll be coming up very, very soon. I'm just trying to keep the last of the weeds off the soil. They also hide under there. So nowhere's perfect, and you're always going to have some problems. But the tidier you make it, the less slugs you're going to have around. The third thing that you can do, and it's a good thing to do at this time of year, is protect plants with a fleece like this. Obviously fleeces are quite multi-purpose. This one here is over some spinach and some beetroot that I planted out. They needed some protection from the elements because they just came out of the greenhouse. But I'm particularly keen on the slug defence element of the fleece in this particular location. You can see I've got it tied down all the way around the edges, fastened down rather with bricks. If you keep the edge of the fleece in contact with the ground all the way around, it's just a physical barrier, and the slugs can't get through it. A variation on bricks is plastic bottles filled with water. Actually, they're perhaps even better because they don't provide a flat surface underneath for slugs to hide under. So it's a slightly different way of doing it. And whilst we're looking at this bit, I'm just going to pull the fleece back a minute because it leads us straight into tip number 4. Now, with the fleece back, the first thing that the eagle-eyed amongst you will spot is, John, some of these plants have been eaten by snails. And you'd be absolutely right. Fleece is not foolproof. Keep some of them out. Now, what's gone wrong here? Well, these plants were popped in 3 weeks ago, straight out of the greenhouse because I was in a hurry, put in the ground, and we immediately had a cold snap. So that the spinach here in particular, they started to suffer. And when plants are in a state of distress, slugs and snails seem to home in on them. They're nature's garbage collectors. And if you look around in nature, you'll see that slugs don't really eat healthy plants. It's the dead and the dying ones they go for. Now these weren't actually dying; they were just a little bit unhappy, mainly because due to the weather. But for a slug, that's still a good sign, and it means there's work to be done, a meal to be had. And they've taken. One here's gone entirely. That one's been quite seriously nibbled. That's been nibbled. That one's gone. They've all been eaten to some degree, some to the point where they've disappeared. And I've got some turnips at this end, put in at the same time. This one's had all its leaves eaten off. Just a twig, that won't make it through. And so on. So what's the cure? Don't plant too early. It's as simple as that. I was a bit of an optimist, caught out a bit by the weather. When I bring up another load of spinach, which I'm going to have to do because those are no good, and put them in. Because the weather's warmer now, they'll be in with a much better chance. They'll start growing and hopefully be healthy from day one, and they won't be eaten by slugs. So if you find you're being eaten down to the ground, and it's quite early in the season, just chill out, go do something else. Plant in a few weeks' time, and you may well find that the fact that the soil's warmer means healthier plants. Healthier plants means they're not going to attract to slugs and snails. That means you'll probably get a crop. Tip number 5. This is a method I use to protect an individual plant. I find particularly courgettes, when you plant the young plants out, and cucumbers, snails and slugs make a beeline for them, even healthy ones, and they just nibble just around where the stem meets the soil until the thing literally topples over like a fallen tree. It's very upsetting. It probably doesn't even give the slugs much of a good time because there can't be much nourishment in one little circular bit of cucumber. Anyway, this method, I've evolved it over many years of trial and error. This works. First of all, you need a Tetra Pak. This is just an orange juice carton. They come in different sizes. This is one of the smaller ones. Suits a smaller plant. First of all, just cut it up like works. So just cut the bottom off, and I go about 3 or 4 inches up. Do the same. Now, the Tetra Pak is designed to hold a liquid, so they're waterproof straight away. That you can put them out in the garden. That's great. What I do next is I put slots just along one of the rims. Right, yeah, I'm just cutting it just sort of a 1/4 inch in all the way along. This is going to form a rim. I'll fold them out, I'll show you in a second. Right, so having got the slots, I'm going to fold the sides down now, like that, facing outwards. Think of it like the top of a castle. Okay, and these are the spikes on the top of the wall sticking out. So basically a slug coming up is going to have a bit of a hard time getting over that edge from the outside. It also, because the rim of the pack is quite thin, if you can imagine a plant stem is resting on that, with wind it could abrade it and damage it, but this gives it a soft edge. Okay. Now the final thing, and this is the important part. I've got here a tin of bog standard automotive grease, and I slap it all the way around the outside of the collar here, cover every inch. Now I find that the grease will stay on, nothing will get rid of it, it doesn't wash off, it's quite stable in the environment. The pack itself, the Tetra Pak collar, like I said, is designed to hold liquid, so that also is waterproof. And you have here a completely slug-proof collar that will last a season. I don't know what it is about the grease that the slugs don't like. They will not go up. I'll just show you how to use the collar. Imagine that this little lettuce here is something that you want, is going to grow quite large, like a cucumber or something like that. You just put the collar all around the plant and bring the leaves up so that they stick out at the top. And bed the collar into the soil all the way around. Make sure that it's pushed into the soil a bit. I'm turning it slightly as I bed it in, so that it's into the soil all the way around. There's nowhere underneath for the slugs to climb up. And as the plant grows, it'll either get taller if it's a tall plant, or it'll grow outwards. It'll gradually rest on the outside of the collar. It'll get larger, and the collar can stay there for the lifetime of the plant if it's an annual. And won't take any harm. Slugs will not be able to reach it. The only time that slugs will be able to attack the plant is when it grows large enough that the leaves sort of grow outside and flop on the ground, touch the ground. Obviously then they can start to nibble those leaves. But even then, the crucial stem of the plant, so this is critical if it's something like a cucumber, is protected.